much. I've got Joel Williams in studio with David, Asher, and Fred Williams, the North Street Band. They have a show tonight at the Met Bible Church in the theater, and it's a Give What You Can. It's by donation in support of New Connections Ministries. It's a men prison ministry, and Fred, I know you have a connection with the organization. Can you talk a little bit about that? Talk a little bit about why you've decided to do the show with them and how North Street Band ties in with prison ministry.
Well, we started as a group a couple of years ago. I've been working in ministry with New Connections Ministry doing prison visitation. And we formed together as a group. Joel and Asher and Dave were all living together in a discipleship house on North Street in Perth, and hence the name the North Street Band. And we got together and started playing together, and we then played in a couple of prisons together, and playing in prison to the men inmates opened more doors for me to go back and speak with individuals about the Lord. And so and then it just sort of blossomed for that. For the last couple of years we've been playing together and doing different things other than prison ministry as well.
Just to stay on that topic of prison ministry, because tonight is a fundraiser for New Connections, what do you find the impact is of you guys going in there? What do people want to know when they come and support a ministry like New Connections?
Well, there aren't very many true Christian ministries in prison. You know, if a guy is an inmate and he is a believer in the Lord, it's very difficult to find true fellowship in prison. And so when we go into a prison, we try to become a friend to someone in jail and be a mentor and help them grow in their faith in Christ. Chaplaincy in prison has become a smorgasbord of religions and faiths and philosophies, and it doesn't mean when you go down to the chapel in a prison that you're necessarily going to get Christian counsel. Right. And so that's what we're trying to fill, that void, that gap. There are some great people in prison ministry, some great Christian people doing work in prison, and we're just one of them.
Well, thanks for what you do. Yeah. You guys went on a Europe tour just this past fall. Can you talk a little bit about that? I was trying to follow along on your blogs, and it looked like a wild experience. Talk a little bit about what your purpose was of maybe some of the highlights of the trip.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Kara.
Sure, Joel.
Yeah, we had an opportunity to go with an old friend of our family, my mother and father. This guy named Tony Hedrick. He runs ACCI, Adventive Cross Cultural Initiative. They're from South Carolina. But anyway, he has a bunch of different churches. He's an itinerant evangelist. He has a bunch of different churches that he works with in London and in Italy and in Slovenia and a bunch of different locations, in Norway too, although we didn't get to go to Norway. But he just invited us for sort of a week in England, a week in Italy, and a week in Slovenia. And the different churches there we were working with put together shows, and we just did outreach basically. And just whether it was playing on the street or in a club or in a church building, we were trying to sort of bridge the gap between church buildings and people on the street, right? So it was very different in each country, actually, but it was a blast. We had a really good time.
So what's coming up next then? Where, other than tonight, where can we see you guys next? What's your plan? What's your plan moving forward?
We've got... Well, if you commit a crime, I think we'll be in Collins Bay sometime later on this summer.
We're expecting to be in one of the prisons fairly soon. In the summer, it's a little bit difficult to get things organized in the jails because they're on skeleton crews in terms of staff and whatnot. But come fall, we'll be certainly back into the prisons to try to... It just bridges a gap. Music is a great door opener, and some person will come down to the chapel and listen to some group play some music that otherwise would never have darkened the door of the chapel. And so we get an opportunity to minister to that person. So we're hoping that'll happen, and whatever else happens with the summer, we haven't quite booked it up yet. So
awesome. Well, do you guys want to do a song?
Sure.
You ready?
Yes.
It looked like you were going to say something.
I was going to mention to you, Kara, I don't know if you forgot this, but I do have a record that it's my second album that's finishing up. It's basically done.
Okay.
But I'm putting some artwork together and putting a website together, and I'm going to release it digitally. But I'll keep you guys posted on... Should be the next few weeks.
Yay!
If everything goes well.
Good. Okay, go. Whenever you're ready.
All right, this is called Any Fool Can Start a Fight. Oh, any fool can start a fight. When you think about wrongs, when you think about rights. I see it in me, and I see it in you. And griefs and sorrows pierce us through. Oh, any fool can throw a stone. Little earthly kings seeking little earthly thrones. And I'm bent like a slave on this tyranny, to rule and reign in the kingdom of me. But who will lay it all down? Surrender his life and give up his crown. It takes a humble man to make things right. But any fool can start a fight. Yes, he can. No, any fool can shake his fist, stiffen up his neck while his insides turn and twist, and try to deny what his conscience screams. Well, then maybe it's just as guilty as he seems. But who will lay it all down? Surrender his life and lay up his crown. It takes a humble man to make things right. Oh, but any fool can start a fight. Yes, he can. But you know, any fool can be saved. Just throw your hands in the air, capitulate, and find anew the grace God gives. You know, Jesus died so fools can live. Oh, yes, he did. You know, he laid it all down. Surrendered his life and laid up his crown. It took a humble man to make things right. Oh, but any fool, any fool, any fool can start a fight. Yes, he can. Ooh.
The North Street Band. We've got David, Asher, Joel, and Fred Williams. You can see them more tonight at the Met Bible Church in the Theater, Prince of Wales Drive, at 7 p.m. It's a Give What You Can, buy donations, supporting new Connections Ministries. Thank you, guys. Looking forward to hearing more from you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.